We have Jessica Tarlov back on Fox News The 5, absolutely shutting down her MAGA co-hosts and their propaganda of trying to paint Donald Trump as actually the pro-union candidate after a Teamsters poll where Jessica does a great job of providing the context that they're leaving out. So let's take a look.
If you look into how this poll was conducted, so they polled 21,000 members and there are 1.3 million members overall. So that's about 1.5% sample size. And right after Sean O'Brien came out and said, we're not endorsing anyone, and released the results of the polls, all of these individual chapters started endorsing her. The National Black Caucus, Michigan, Western PA, Northern West Virginia, Wisconsin, Northern Nevada, Southern Nevada, Philly, et cetera. She has the auto workers endorsement, the culinary union endorsement, the AFL-CIO.
We're talking about the Teamsters. She didn't get the Teamsters endorsement.
But I'm saying that a million the Teamsters
people gave her their endorsement.
No, it's over a million people.
For 30 years, the Democrats have given
I wish that she had gotten the endorsement. There is work to do, but you can't in good conscience argue. If I tell you that they polled 21,000 people and then I tell you that
now you're
a million people.
Poll. What about the fact that 60% support Trump and only 38 support her?
When you have a sample of 21,000 out of 1.3 million members and then you get endorsements from a million Teamsters after that, doesn't that indicate that the poll might not be the greatest representation?
She is exactly right. Here, the poll was a hilariously low representation of the entirety of Teamsters. A 1% sample size is hardly conducive to painting a full picture or representing a group, especially when, as she points out, it flies in the face of all these local and state factions of Teamster endorsing Kamala still, representing over 1 million of the members of Teamsters. But instead, we're supposed to value 21,000, like 60% of 21,000, let alone that means more than over 1 million. I mean, the full national union endorsement seems to have to do with the leader, Sean O'Brien, who is just more conservative than recent Teamsters leaders, seems to be playing some politics here. But you can't make the mistake and say that, well, even though over 60% of the entirety of Teamsters has endorsed Kamala, let's instead focus on this poll of 1% of Teamsters where Trump had 60% of that support. So 60% of 1%, 0.6. That's the representation that he has. I mean, it's not to mention that every other single union that has endorsed Kamala from UAW down the list, pretending that oh, see, this proves that Trump is pro-worker and pro-union, especially with his history of union busting, the NLRB, corporate lawyer appointments. I mean, the list goes on and on why this is just nonsense.
Jesse, the Teamsters had the ability to endorse, given the fact that the majority of the Brotherhood, according to their own numbers, supported Trump. Isn't the union board's job, isn't it, to basically represent the members that they polled and then support Trump?
It is. And they don't like Kamala Harris personally because she doesn't connect with people. And they don't like the policies. They don't like the EV stuff. They don't like the regulations. And so that's that. And it's more significant than she's spinning. And that's okay. I'd spin too if I didn't get that endorsement. But it's significant. And it shows you in the Midwest that they have a huge problem. And these people also are on the ground. They're politicking, they're knocking on doors, they're organizing, and that's not going to be there for Kamala Harris like it would have.
This is all just conjecture, right? Things become conspiracy when you take 2 points here and here and you fill in the blanks between them with a story. And that's exactly what Jesse Waters is trying to do here. She will have plenty of politicking, knocking on doors from union members, from the UAW, the AFL-CIO, the culinary union alone, but also from Teamsters themselves, their local and state unions that have endorsed her. And Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, New York City, California, Miami, Iowa, Hawaii, their Black Caucus, all of these groups of Teamsters have endorsed Kamala, again, representing over 1 million of the 1.5 million members. But of course, Fox wants you to ignore that large sample size because it's anti-Trump and hyper-focus on the undersized thing that benefits him, because that is real reporting. If you poll 1% of the population in New York City and it says that Kamala is going to win 90-10. Would Fox News take that serious? Would anyone take that serious? No, they would say that this is how you manipulate polling. When you have a blatant 2/3 support of a candidate, a 1% poll that shows otherwise is clearly not representative of the group. So as Jessica said, I mean, it sucks that she didn't get the full endorsement. I wish that she had, but it comes more down to one man at the head of it playing politics for himself rather than trying to represent the union in full. I mean, if multiple local and state factions representing over 1 million of your members endorse a candidate, I would say that the national union has a duty to kind of follow suit.